Welcome to Stuck in My Mind podcast, the show where we dive into the mind of a regular guy on his road to self-discovery. You'll hear everyday people just like you share the latest topics, personal stories, and things they've learned along the way. And now, please welcome your host, Wise.
And welcome to another episode. I am your host, W-I-Z-E. I have a very special guest. When I saw her profile, it caught my eye because it was something different, and I'll let her explain when she comes on. But she's known as the worm advocate. She's into laughter yoga. She's a laughter yoga teacher. Welcome to the show, Cathy Nesbitt. Hey.
Thank you so much. You be Wise. I'm excited to be here.
Okay, so what exactly is a worm advocate?
Wow, great question. Yes, since it's my title. So I'm just like it's the 20th anniversary of my worm composting business, Cathy's Crawly Composters, and it's I don't have a business background, so it wasn't really the best business idea, but here I am still standing 20 years in, and I'll explain how that works for anyone wanting to start a business. I'll suggest getting repeat customers. So what happened? So I'm located in Canada, just in Ontario, north of Toronto. And so Toronto, largest city in Canada. And in 2002, our landfill closed. Almost 6 million people in the Greater Toronto area, half living in condos, townhouses without space to do outdoor composting. And so we did, although Canada's a pretty big country, second largest, we couldn't find a place to site a new landfill, right? Nobody wants that in their backyard. So we started in 2002, we started to export our garbage to the United States. Whoops, sorry. And that's not our doing, like yours and mine. That's a government
government
deal.
Business, yes. Right?
That's a ridiculous business government thing, thinking, oh, that's a solution. No. So, and here's the numbers that are staggering. So 6 million people, about 200 garbage trucks were making the trip every day, Monday to Friday, 1,000 trucks a week. Wow. Like how irresponsible on our part for exporting our garbage, and really kind of irresponsible for the American government to import garbage as a business, for cash, trash for cash. Bad idea. But anyway, that we found another place in Canada to put our garbage, and so we stopped that. But ridiculous. So that's how the idea came, that I was like, oh, I have a solution. And here's the kicker is worms breed more than rabbits. So they're maybe not as cute and cuddly, depending who you ask.
Yes.
Right. If you ask me, I'm a worm advocate. So I would say, wow, they have 5 hearts and they turn garbage into black gold, and they're solving a garbage crisis. They're fixing our food. I mean, they're beautiful. And I hope anyone that's listening thinking, ew, worms, stay tuned, because
that's what kind of got my attention, was the fact that you're, like I said, a worm advocate. But I see why it is you use the worms, because I had my former father-in-law, he was into organic growing and all that, and building a compost and all that. So I know the value of the worms in building a compost. So that's why it intrigued me to have you on the show.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So, you think about, I believe you're from New York, is that right?
Yes, originally. But
I live in the
Pocono Mountains now.
Yeah. So think about those small New York City apartments, really, really teeny, right? So they don't have space, extra space. So I have a beautiful system, like it's in any container will do for vermicomposting. And it really is the same idea as outdoor composting, except it's done inside. And the worms are the magic component, although people don't want worms, and I didn't know. I didn't know they didn't want what I had. It took a long time, actually. It took a long time for me to realize, because I was like, and anyone listening that's like, oh, I have a great idea for a solution, for a world problem. And so you set forth to do that business, it wasn't really as a money-making thing. Of course, it's a business, so I want to make money.
Of
It's
course.
important. But it really was to solve this crisis that we have, exporting our garbage and our food is broken. So this is amending the soil. Like, it has so many components. And I was just on purpose. I felt like, wow, this is why I was put on earth, so I could be the talking worm. And then, many times over the years, people said, ew, worms in the house. And I wasn't listening until 2012, 10 years in. It took a long time. Because I believed that people needed what I had.
Yeah.
So 2012, someone said, ew, worms in the house. One more person said it. I mean, I'd heard it many times. I just wasn't listening. And that time it hit my heart. And I was like, oh, that hurts. Oh, how am I going to do this? Why do I care so much? Like, what's the matter with me? Why do I care so much? Why don't I just do something easier? And then I realized, I really think that when you're put on earth for a reason, and we all are, we just have to do a little bit of searching.
Yes.
Right? We all have a purpose. We just need to do some searching. Sometimes we get comfortable and we just settle in our box, right? We stay in our little comfort box, like a snuggly blanket. And you can't grow in a snuggly blanket. It's comfortable, right? It's warm and cozy, but it's you're not growing anywhere.
And that's the thing with people is they're afraid to step out of their comfort zone. They're so complacent, and it's anyone who doesn't, like, for me, it took me finally to press record and actually upload my podcast for me to find my purpose. Because I'm 40 something years old. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And so when I started my podcast and I started talking to all these amazing people and having these great conversations, and then people started reaching out and telling me, hey, I needed to hear that episode, or this episode did this for me, that solidified what I wanted to do, because it was people that they didn't have to send me a message and tell me that, hey, this episode really touched me and this I really needed to hear that episode. They didn't have to do that. So for them to do that, that just shows me, like, all right, I'm doing something good. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. People are listening, and I'm putting out some positive content. And so for me to be able to find my purpose and be able to do what I do, it's like amazing. I love doing this. I love being able to interview people. I love meeting interesting people like yourself who have a great story. Like, who would have ever thought someone would make a business out of worms? And so you saw a vision and you followed it. And so to be able to step out of your comfort zone and do something like that, that's amazing. And that's why I do this, so people could hear your story and see that, hey, even though it might seem like it's a weird business, it's something you found meaning in it. You found purpose in it. And I applaud you. Like, and for 20 years of business.
20 years. I know, 20 years. And I think that's the challenge today, or in our system. It's really broken in so many ways, and we don't have enough time to talk about all the ways that it's broken, but so we're really not taught. We go to school and we're given like a little bit how to survive, but we're not really taught how to thrive, like money management and relationships, and people. There's such a high rate of separation and divorce because as soon as there's a challenge, we're not taught how to negotiate, how to come together. Like, of course there's going to be disagreement at certain times, like otherwise you're too comfortable. Right? If you're growing and you're both growing on a trajectory. I've been married for I think it's 34 years. That's a long time. And I say to people in a long-term relationship, and we love each other, and we're both in this worm thing together. We're kind of just trooping along together. In a long-term relationship, there's always times you come to a plateau where you're like, I think, we could end here, like this has been nice. And now I think we could go on different directions, or we work on this little like obstacle that's coming our way, and we break through it, and then we grow again together, or we go our separate ways and on we go. And there's a few of those, you plateau, and then you decide, oh, are we going to stay or are we going to go? And I think quite often people don't stay through that challenging time, or they stay together for the wrong reason. Yeah. Whole nother topic. Here we are. What are we going to talk about, Wise?
Almost, busy. It's so much fun to do this because you have to enjoy this and laugh. You get to laugh and just like at first when I started, it was just me commenting. I was ranting about work and I didn't enjoy it. And so when I was able to sit down with guests and start having these conversations and being able to meet people and meet people from all over the world, and see that we have so much in common. Like we're all different in our ways, but at the core value of everything, everybody wants the same thing. Everyone wants to be happy. Everyone wants to be successful. Everyone wants well for their family, and so for me to like just speak to all these people and realize this is just it's amazing. Like if you would have told me a few years ago that I would be doing this, I want to believe you. It wasn't even in my mind. It wasn't something I was thinking about. And to just be able to to speak to you first of all, and see how much you enjoy doing what you do. It's not like it's not a job. Like I see that you're so passionate about this that you're laughing and giggling and you could tell that you love your business and you love what you're doing. And that's how I feel about podcasting is I love to do this. I love to be able to talk and it's my form of therapy, but it's also like I said, it's my purpose. It's for me to I've figured that this is what I need to do is to come on and share your story and share other people's stories because who knows, there might be someone out there who has a interesting business idea, but they're afraid that people might laugh at them or people might judge them. But here you come
with worms,
and you've been in business for 20 years.
20 years. I know. I didn't even have a job for 20 years. That was how I knew. I didn't come from an entrepreneurial background. I mentioned that at the beginning. I was told work hard, or no, get a job first, and then work hard. Do what you're told. All of those ridiculous phrases.
Yeah, it's go to school, go work at a job for 30, 40 years, retire from that job,
get a watch.
Yeah, get a watch, but they don't teach you anything about finances. Like you said, they don't teach you anything about finances. They don't teach you anything about relationship building. They don't
job
teach
satisfaction even.
Yeah, they don't teach you about any of this stuff. They just tell you go to school, especially here where college is a money maker. So of course they want you to take these student loans out and put yourself in, like you're already in debt before you're out of school, like before you even
starting your
money.
Life.
Yeah, you're already in the hole.
Yeah. It's backwards. The whole thing is backwards. And I really want people to hear the message that we are all meant to do our own unique life and not be compared to other people. That's really what I've learned. And I feel like having been in business, in this ridiculous business that I'm in, like unique, I'm going to say unique. I mean, it's a beautiful business in that it's doing something really grand for the world. It really is solving a big problem. And I do believe that if everybody managed their food scraps, either with worms or without, however you do it, feed the raccoons, I don't care, that we would have more money. We wouldn't be hauling all this stuff around, filling landfills, like filling up holes with this organic matter, and yeah, I just feel like it would be a better place. But I think if people have an idea, pursue that, because you were given that idea from source And it's like, what I say to people, I do a lot of school workshops, for entrepreneur programs and whatnot. And I say to the students, if you ever get, like, have you ever had an idea where you get all fired up, maybe not a business idea, just something you want to do, and you're just like, oh, I'm going to do that. And you get all, your heart's racing and you're just like so excited. And then maybe you get in your head and you're like, oh yeah, I remember the last time I had an exciting idea and it didn't work out, and I was disappointed. People say don't set your expectations too high because you're going to be disappointed. I say set your expectations so high that, like, even if you reach halfway, wow, the world is a better place, right? Like, why would you
Absolutely.
want to fail low?
No,
Right?
I
Like,
agree.
oh, don't set your expectations low so you never grow. That's one of
But
those
that's not stepping
ridiculous
out. That's not, yeah,
expressions.
that's not stepping out. That's not you stepping out the box. That's not you making yourself uncomfortable. And that's where we have to be at, is where we need to be uncomfortable.
That's where the magic lies. That's what I've learned is when you stay in the box, oh, it might be a fine life. Like, you might be comfortable, you're paying your bills. And I think this cuckoo time that we're in, this 2-week holiday, um, haha, not funny, has really forced us to look at what is important in our life. What do we want? How do we want to live each day? Because we get to decide it ultimately. And now we're in the gig economy, which is really, it sounds exciting, like, oh wow, I could be an Uber driver. Yeah, but when you really do the math on Uber drivers, you got to be driving an awful lot to make money. Your gas is going up. They don't compensate for that. You got to pay insurance, wear and tear on your car, and it's not easy. And then if somebody doesn't like you and they give you a low rating,
Rating, yeah.
right? I mean, then your rate the whole thing it sounds great. Oh, I'm my own boss. In order to be your own boss, you have to be motivated. You must. And you must want something better for yourself first. And then you can go and serve. I mean, when we're serving and doing something, you said it, like, I sound very passionate. If people find something that really revs them up, it's not like work at all. You
No,
said it. You're talking to people. It's so beautiful. And you have a great voice, by the way.
thank you very much. I appreciate it. And the crazy thing was, that was one of the excuses I wasn't record, is because I thought I sounded bad in my own head. I sound bad. To me, I sound horrible. And to other people, I don't. And they look at me and they're like, "What, are you kidding me? You have a radio voice. Why would you think that you sound horrible?" And but it's just me making excuses. This was just me making excuses to why I didn't start the podcast. It's like, I sound like horrible. I sound like a monster. Who would want to listen to me? And then I wouldn't release it. I would delete it. And then
Wow.
finally, I was like, you know what? Screw this.
I'm doing
Record
it.
whatever I record is getting put up, and now that's what I'm releasing. And my first episode was 5 minutes, and then the second one went to 7, and it just grew and grew to the point where I started getting comfortable, and now I'm doing 30, 45 minutes, hour shows. And it's just, again, it was just, you can see the growth from where I started to where I am now. When I first started, I was strictly audio. I wasn't video. Now I'm video and as of September of 2021, I'm audio and video. So now I have my a video app podcast that I have on YouTube, and then I also have my audio version, which I just released my episode 150.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yeah, and I've been podcasting for 2 years. I went crazy the last I prior to even the video, when I was just recording audio, there was like a span of probably 6 months where I was probably recording every day, like Monday through Saturday, and on occasion Sundays, and maybe even 2, 3 episodes a day. And
Wow.
I went crazy. And but then again, I would take vacation, I would take time off, but I had so much content that I didn't have to worry about falling behind. And that's one thing that I've learned is, like, keep keep creating content. And even though if you don't release it all at once, you still have time to space it out. And if you want to if you want to take time away from recording, I have enough content where I can take about a month or so and not worry about losing listener watchers because I have content to fall back on.
Yes, beautiful. Yeah, you learn the tricks as you go along.
Yeah.
You have the trade. Yeah, it's so, and it does. Isn't this wonderful for personal growth, like your own?
Mhm.
Confidence. You said you started just audio, and then now you've added video because now look, you're a handsome man too. So you sound good,
Thank you.
you
I
look
appreciate it.
good, right? How wonderful. And it's so beautiful because I do think that many people are visual. I think more are visual than just audio. And so some people really do enjoy looking at the people that they're hearing talking.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Mm.
It's just it's to me it's just being able to it's therapy in a way for me to be able to talk to people. And again, it's me growing as a person because this is something it's leading me to other things. It's leading me to speaking engagements. It's leading to other opportunities, voiceover work, doing other
Mm.
things. And it's like wow, like I didn't know this was like I didn't know this. Like I said, I'm not from a. I don't come from a media background. I wasn't on radio or TV or any of that. I, I have a regular 9 to 5, and then, but starting the podcast has led me to starting my own business. It's led me to starting my production company because now I've picked up skills from podcasting like audio editing, video editing, logo designs, thumbnail designs, all these different little things that I've learned from building my podcast has added value to me. Has
Mm.
like these are things that has helped build my resume because these are things that I've learned applying it to my podcast.
So it's beautiful. I love that. That's awesome. Yeah. It's all about growing. If we're not growing, we're decomposing. I mean, I love, for me, the worms have given me so much material, and I really do compare my life to a worm. I'm one of those super sensitive entities. I'm an empath. I feel everything. And um as a young girl, I would cry easy. I was told, grow a thicker skin. The world's a harsh place, get over it, suck it up and all that stuff. And I don't think the world is a harsh place. I mean, sometimes it is.
It can be.
It
It
can,
can be.
right? It can be. But I think being an empath is a gift. You just don't know as a young person, men or women, boy or girl, we don't know when we're young um, what a gift that is, being able to know when somebody's lying to you because you can feel it. Being able to know when somebody's in pain, when they say, I'm okay, when they're not. I mean, it really is a gift when you can assist people without their asking for assistance. That sounds invasive.
No, but
you know, Go ahead.
I understand you because uh, I know how I am. And I'm it's crazy because for many years it's like when I watch TV sometimes it could be a commercial or whatever it is, and it could be a sentiment, and you feel that energy of just again I'm very energy sensitive. I pick up on energy, and I feel like how you said I feel when someone's not doing right or someone's in a bad mood or something's bothering them. But it's just I attuned it to the fact that I was raised by my mom and my sister, and it just opened up a different side of me as well to be able to be able to show emotions, I guess, at that
Mm.
state because my mom and my sister are very loving people, and they have great energy. And for me, it's just been like I guess that's why I have these great conversations because I could relate to a lot of things with people and energy as far because I'm a big energy person. I'm on I believe in vibrations and things are supposed to happen and all this stuff. and for a while, I thought there was something wrong with me, being that I was so sensitive and being emotional sometimes, and in speaking to a lot of highly sensitive people and empaths and all that, you begin to realize, like, okay, I'm not alone in this. There are other people like me who have heightened senses to certain things, and you just, again, like, for a while, you it was like, I thought there was something wrong with me, basically.
Yeah, and I think especially for a man, in our world, especially our northern society, where we're taught like, girls
Don't
are do this, be
Men don't
nice, be
cry, men don't show emotions, none of
right.
that. Yes.
You suck it up, don't cry. What are you, a girl?
Yeah.
Like those, and it's like, what is it, bad to be a girl? Like what's happening here? Like you throw like a girl. Good, I am a girl. And so that's great. Good, congratulations to your mom and your sister for, because I think that the beautiful part with men and women, we are different, absolutely. If women are able to help men to communicate easier, where we hold space for people to share without judgment, without criticizing, just allowing somebody to share, hey, I'm feeling this way today. It's okay, we all have crappy days where we're like, what am I doing? I don't even know what this is all about. Or where we just want to sit in the corner and cry. I mean, I think we all feel that. um, and it's fine. I think it's now coming to a time where it is becoming fine to share how we feel, because we can't keep on with this mask. It's not serving anybody.
It's not. It definitely isn't. And again, this is something I love to talk about on my podcast, is the fact that, like you said, we, especially even in like in the northern part of the world, and our part of the world, and all that, you could you could see the shift that now it's okay now, because before, talking about mental health and talking about all that stuff was a taboo. It was something you didn't talk about. You just It's not, especially where I come from, that we definitely didn't talk about going to see no therapist or anything like that, because people would joke, people would make fun of you, people would judge you. And now you're
Yeah.
seeing that, listen, sometimes you need that help. I know, because I was widowed at 31, and
Hmm.
I was lost for some time. I was self-destructive, headed down the wrong path. And when I finally saw the light, and realized that I needed to change my life, it's funny, because my wife had started me on that path. She's the one who introduced me
Hmm.
to self-development. She introduced me to Abraham Hicks. She introduced
Mm.
me to Sylvia Brown. She introduced me to The Secret, and all these other books. And I think she was preparing me for what was coming.
Mm.
But of course, I let grief blind me, and there was another tragedy after that. It was just straight. It was I lost probably like 6, 7 people close to me within a 6 year span.
Oof.
And so I felt that she was preparing. Even though I was lost for that time, and I was angry with spirit and angry with everything, when I finally realized that I needed to get the help that to help me get over this. And took me to realize that I was angry over things I had no control over. I was angry over the loss of all the people that I love, but I had no control over those things. These are things that they just happen. But when you grieve, and you don't think about all that, you're just angry, and you're not seeing everything. And it took some time for me to see the whole entire picture, and realize, like, I'm wasting away. I'm not living my purpose. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, being angry. And so I sought the help that I needed. I changed my mindset, started working, turned my life around, remarried, and now I'm hosting a pretty successful podcast. uh, and it's like, I've come a long way. I've and I'm still growing. I'm still learning, and every day again. You're not gonna be happy every day. Let's get that straight. There's days you're gonna have bad days. You're gonna have great days. You're gonna have good days. That's just life. And so when people ask, like, I had a person ask me, "Do I regret everything that happened to me?" And I'm like, "No," because it's helped mold me into who I am. Everything that happened to me happened for a reason, and if I wasn't strong enough to deal with these circumstances, then I wouldn't be here right now. I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in right now. So I've been blessed to to get back on track, and now even more, I'm attracting more positive people into my life. I'm attracting the people that I want to in my life, and it's great. It's like I'm building these relationships with some amazing people, like people that we've talked to is like through Zoom or StreamYard. We haven't really met in person, but just being able to build these relationships with these people because of me deciding to be uncomfortable and start the podcast and meet these people and be able to have them in my life and have them support, because it's crazy, because you would think your family and friends would be your biggest cheerleaders, and I have friends and family that do support me, and they're my cheerleaders, but I had like the people who I've connected with through podcasting and all that, they have been so supportive. They've been cheering me on, telling me, like, sometimes you get down, and to have them message you and tell you, "Hey, listen, I would love to collaborate with you and do this with you." That like lifts you up. Like,
Mm.
I gotta be doing something right if so many people want to work with me, if people want to do anything with me. Like, there's something right about that. If I'm doing something right.
Yeah, I'm sorry about all the loss, and I agree. I think that things do happen for a reason. Your wife was preparing you. God bless her. And I think again, when people are super sensitive or empathic, it's hard to know what to do with all of that energy that comes in. I used to uh, do gigs at like Home Depot. I think that's an American franchise, Home Depot,
Yes,
is
Home
it?
Depot. Yes, it is.
Yeah. So I would do, the weekend gigs, how they have people there demoing different products. So I would do the demoing with my husband. We'd go in just to make some extra cash at the beginning of our business. And I would come home some days exhausted and kind of feeling really depressed. And I went to visit somebody and they said, "This isn't your depression. Like, your heart's so open. You just take in you just take it all in." They gave me an etheric shield to put on because I didn't even know it wasn't my sadness that I was feeling. Yeah. I don't know why I said that, but anyway. But, I think sometimes when people are empathic and take on all this energy, we don't know what to do. So we do self-medicate. We might drink or do drugs or sex or overeat or whatever it is so that we can get those chemical hits. Like we're like, I don't know what to do, so I'm just going to hide in this. So good for you. I mean, it's fine because grief is serving a purpose. When we're feeling our feelings, they're there for a reason, not to discount anger, frustration. Those are all showing us something. So when we can look at them, I'm really like, good for you for knowing that, oh gosh, I'm just wallowing here. Nothing good can come of, like, I'm headed down the wrong path.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it was that turned you around, but way to go. Because sometimes people they don't find their way out, and then they just end up, they're 60, 70, 80, and they're at the end of their life and they're like, just have regrets. Like,
Yeah.
don't have regrets at the end. It's never like people would say, "Oh, I've never been off a day from work. I never call in sick." Like, good for you that, you think your company really cares if, like, you're going to get a gold star.
Listen,
Like,
listen. If you was to pass away they'll replace you the next day.
Everyone's replaceable.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's not nothing like,
The company won't collapse without you.
yeah. So what? So you've been so that's why it's been crazy, because people burn themselves out for these jobs, and don't do anything to enjoy life. They feel like they have to enjoy life when they retire. No, you need to realize you need to enjoy life now while you're here, because
Yeah.
tomorrow's not guaranteed for you.
It is not, and you know what? I think these are things that I kind of knew all along. I never stayed in a job didn't serve me. I changed jobs every year, always moving around. I traveled a lot when I was younger. My husband and I, well, we were married. We got married and then traveled for 13 months in Africa and Asia. We were 27, and people were like, it was really interesting what people said. So this was 89, 90, 1989, 1990. At that time, oh my gosh, an accountant said to me, you know, these are your prime earning years. You're never going to earn this money back again. And I was like, what? I was like, what about the experience I'm going to have, like traveling in all those wonderful countries? And I believe having that travel experience at 27 shaped the woman that I became, because I knew, oh my gosh, the world is not just Canada. The world is not like here. Not everybody speaks English, first of all.
Yeah.
Surprise. Yeah, and other people, that was when the interest rates were going, like they got up to 18, 19%. It was crazy. There was a lot of foreclosures and whatnot. But our friends were all buying houses, and they said, wow, if you guys go traveling now, you're never going to buy a house. Like, look at where we are now. Now people are still saying, wow, we're never going to get a house. So it's, nothing's really changed, but now I've had that cool experience.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to live life. And that's the thing and that's why I love my wife now, because when I first met her and we started dating and all that, she asked, one of her question to me was, do you have a passport? And I was like, no. She's like, well, we need to remedy that. We need to get your passport, because I like to travel. And since we've been together, we've stamped my passport quite a few times now. So
Wonderful. It's so beautiful. It's mind opening. It expands your world vision, literally, because you get to see how other people live. And I think in Canada and the States, we're really lucky where we live for the most part. I know there's people struggling absolutely everywhere.
yeah,
But we really are, we're really in the top 1% of, the climate. We're in a good climate situation. Our economy is fairly stable. I mean, things are changing. We don't know what's coming.
let's not speak too soon.
Right now, it's hopeful.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's always somebody in a different, in a worse situation, and it's not like, oh, comparing yourself. That's what we got to stop doing. Like,
yeah,
everyone just row your own boat. Everyone look after yourself, but be nice. Imagine if everybody was, back to being an empath. I do a lot of school workshops, and I'll have young girls come up to me and say, oh, sorry, I'm too sensitive. I know I got to grow a thicker skin, and what the same phrases that I was told. And I'm like, okay, thank you for sharing. And then I'll say, never say that again. Okay, here's why. Because what does it mean to be sensitive? It means you care. What does it mean to be too sensitive? Means you care too much. Imagine a world where people care
you
too
care too much.
much.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, just imagine that for a moment. Everybody caring about everyone else. Wouldn't that be beautiful?
Yeah, it would.
Yeah. We can strive for that.
Yes, we can.
Can we talk about laughter for a moment?
Yes, I heard. Yes, laughter yoga. What is laughter yoga?
Laughter yoga helps keep me in my worm business. I want to let people know, like, just be aware of the signs. If something keeps showing up in your path, it's for you. If it feels right, it's for you. So 2012, I said I didn't know that people didn't want what I had. 2012, one more person said, ooh, worms in the house. And I was like, this is so hard. Why do I care so much? I should just get a job. Right? I don't have repeat customers. This is really hard. Why do I care? I'm not sure. And I was really questioning what I was doing. And I was about to doff my worm mission. Not really, because I think you get sick if you don't do what you're supposed to do by the universe, not what someone's telling you, but what the universe is put in, why you came to this plane. And so I was at a business meeting, and the speaker did a 5-minute introduction to laughter yoga. And I'll talk about what it is in a moment. And I was like, laughter yoga, what's that? That sounds fun. It's not doing yoga and laughing. It's really just laughing. And that same week, I was at a business networking event, hundreds of people. The very first woman I met was a laughter yoga teacher. And I said, wow, laughter yoga is mainstream 2012. Not really. And so laughter yoga started in 1995 by a medical doctor, Dr. Madan Kataria in India. And his goal is world peace. It's called laughter yoga because of the practice of doing laughter and the deep diaphragmatic breathing. So it's really like the yoga breathing, gentle stretches and whatever, but it's not jokes or comedy. It's laughing for the health of it. It's a cardiovascular workout. And I have rock hard abs from laughing. Because when you think about it, have you ever laughed so hard your stomach's hurting, your cheeks are hurting? Remember as a kid, it happens less and less as adults, unless you're a laughter teacher. So those are the laughter muscles. And it's unlike going to a gym where if you haven't gone for a while and then you go and do some crunches and stuff, you might be sore the next day. Laughter muscles, it doesn't work that way. But when we're laughing, we're secreting the love drugs, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. Right? Sometimes people have addictive behaviors to get those very same hits. And so imagine we can be in charge of our own pharma just from laughing. I often wonder if I'm going to, wear up my dispenser because I'm laughing every day. So as soon as you smile, you start secreting, the love drugs like pew, pew, pew. And then you add a giggle, ha, 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 pew, 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 ha, 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 pew, pew, pew. It's like this loop. This feel-good loop, yay, wee, versus, and it seems fake, right? It's like, oh, how can she laugh and then not be laughing? Because it's an exercise. It's an exercise. It's an intentional something like you're doing sit-ups. You can, instead of doing sit-ups, you can just laugh and really get the same benefits. There's research. Oh, I can't remember what country. It might have been Sweden that did research comparing crunches, which I don't know what they are. I thought it was something you put in your hair, but
it's a kind of form of sit-ups.
I do know. I'm making fun. So comparing crunches and laughter, like full on laughing, not like haha laughing at a joke at a comedy show or laughing at a sitcom on TV, because if you laugh too long, you're going to miss the next line. So this is full on laughing, ha, 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 10 to 15 minutes of sustained laughing. And the laughter yoga is actually more beneficial because you get external abs and internal abs. When you're doing crunches, you just get the external abs. It's better to laugh and more fun.
And it's not as painful.
Exactly. It's like, oh, okay, we're just gonna laugh. So laughter really helped keep me in my worm business. So I'm still doing that. And now I'm also getting paid gigs to do laughter yoga. I'm teaching people laughter. I'm going into corporate. Because imagine in corporations, now people are coming back in. Everyone was working from home, but now, office towers are opening back up, factories, everything. People are coming back into the workspace. How do we function now that we've been masked for 2 years and only seeing eyes? And it's a challenge. Now people are having trouble. Like, how do we have that face-to-face conversation?
Yeah.
So when you bring laughter and you bring somebody in to do laughter in a corporation, and corporations love this because it increases their bottom line. Absenteeism will go down because people will be less stressed. When we manage our stress, then we can, because our brain hasn't evolved. So the amygdala, which is the stress center in the brain, hasn't evolved since we became humans. And so when we get stressed, that little center thinks that we're in imminent danger. And sometimes we are, but most of the time we've just lost our keys. We're not going to die if we can't, if we miss that appointment. It's not going to be the end of the world, but we're acting as if it is, secreting all that cortisol. We're not breathing. So we take on as if we're being chased by a saber-toothed tiger, and we're not. So we need to kind of manage our stress. And I'm doing not research. I'm reading all kinds of stuff about blue zones. Have you heard of blue zones in the world?
No.
So blue zones are places in the world where people live well into their hundreds, over 100 years old, living a vibrant, living on their own still, an active, wonderful life without illness. And then they just die in their sleep or something, or die skiing or doing something they love. And what they found is, although there are pockets around the world, so it's not like a certain diet, it's not like the Mediterranean diet, or you got to just be paleo or vegan, or it's none of that. There is alcohol involved and whatever. The main thing is less stress, more love, more movement, and one more thing. One more thing that I can't remember at this moment. But simple, right? Oh, better, good food. So good food, not necessarily, whatever I said, vegan or whatever, not necessarily meatless, just good quality, right? You want to have, if you want to get it from the farm, not from the factory farm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good food, less stress was the first one. Less stress, more love, more movement, and good food. And that's it. It seems simple, and it is, but it's a decision, right? We have all this weight coming down, and our brains are wired for negativity, which I believe is why people, when they say, oh, I had such a crappy day, oh, whatever it is. And then the other person's thinking, oh, you think that's bad? You should hear what I had to, oh, here's my story. And then we're like, then we just want to, let's go and drink, because what else are we going to do? We might as well just go and drink ourselves silly. Right.
Well. Yeah.
Right. And that's what happens. We get on that downward spiral. That's what the news is. It's like fear, 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 fear. And if you're not afraid enough, here's some more fear. Oh, and if you missed the fear a few minutes ago, here are the details. Here are the graphic details that you can never get out of your mind. So I would suggest really limiting how much time people spend watching, like the 6 o'clock news, the 11 o'clock news before you go to bed. No, because then that's on your mind. Like, then you're like, oh my gosh, all that tragedy that's happening in the world.
I don't watch the news. I really, to me, it's not beneficial to me. I'm not gaining anything from it, from watching it.
No,
I might watch the weather because I need to know what kind of conditions is going to be outside. But other than that, I don't really watch the news.
But even the weather, haven't you noticed that even the weather now, they're talking about a rainstorm that's coming in 2 weeks. There's going to be torrential rains, or there's going to be, it's going to be really sunny. So you better not be out in the sun for too long, because, don't forget your SPF stuff, like, it just seems everything is fear. And if we can minimize that, we're going to find out what's going on. We don't need to be like, oh, I don't want to not know what's going on. People will tell you. You'll know what's happening.
You'll hear about it.
But people will be happy to tell you. Believe me.
They will.
And so that's one thing, is we need to create boundaries around ourselves, not the box, get out of the box, but have boundaries around the people that drag you down. Like, notice when you're with people, do they lift you up? Are you feeling like, wow, I'm all ready to take on the day now, I feel filled up? Or are you like, oh man, I need a nap now, I'm exhausted after that conversation? Just notice.
But now Cathy, it's time for you to plug away. It's part of the show where you get to let people know where they find your websites, everything.
All right. Well, first, I would really love for people to come and experience the magic of laughter. I have a free laughter club on Zoom every Tuesday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. 30 minutes, super fun self-care. I incorporate tapping, brain gym, and other healing modalities. My objective is really for people to get out of stress and just have a more joy-filled life. That is my goal. I have no expectations. Come and check it out. I'm not going to follow up with you and see how you liked it. I'm not going to see if you're coming back, but I hope you do. And I hope that people will try laughter more than once, because you come the first time, it's like, what is happening here? Laughing for nothing. This isn't usual. And it isn't. But then you leave there and you're like, wow, I don't know what that was, but it was really fun. It wasn't really fun. It was really weird, but I feel great. And then you sleep like a baby. No, a baby that's happy. A happy baby that doesn't wake up in the middle of the night. Okay. So where do you find me? My worm website has all of my offerings. So it's Cathy'sComposters.com. Or the laughter one is Cathy'sClub.com. And just come and check out the laughter, because I really want people to care about the planet. But like me, I was struggling. So when you're struggling, having a mental crisis, you can't care about anything, even your neighbor, or you can't care about anything about other than, how do I get out of this crisis? And there is hope. If you are in a mental crisis, reach out, talk to somebody. Somebody wants to hear from you, because the world needs you. And as they say, this too shall pass. We have all these thoughts that are awful. If we think of the thoughts like clouds, like, oh, there's that thought. Thank you for stopping by. Get out of here. Yeah. Go away. Like that black cloud. Shoosh. Get out of here. Right? They just come and go. And we get so many thoughts. I think it's like 40,000 thoughts a second. Right? We're not picking them all up. We're only picking up the ones that we're tuned into. So tune into the happy thoughts, and then you'll have a happier life. It sounds simple. It's work, and you're worth it.
It's not easy. Yes, it's not easy. Of course. But with anything in life, it's not easy. It takes work, but consistency and continue to do it. And I wish I was off Tuesdays so I could actually go take that laughter. If I'm ever off from a Tuesday, I'm definitely going to take the laughter class. Where
do you work?
I work at a casino.
Oh, at the casino. I was going to say, have me come into work.
Yeah.
I mean, online. I could zoom in. Oh, yeah. If you're ever off on a Tuesday, do come. Or if your shift changes or something.
Yeah. One day, I usually, sometimes I get out early. So if I get out early one day, I'll definitely check it out.
I love it. Yes. Thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, no. Thank you for coming by. This was fun. I had a great time.
I do too.
But now don't leave just yet. We're going to chat a little bit after. But now it is time for shout outs. Big shout out to Real Wise Fam, Brandy J, Bobby J. Love you guys. Big shout out to the boss lady. Love you, baby. Big shout out to Cathy Nesbitt for coming through and sharing her love for worms. And laughing yoga. Don't forget laughing yoga. People check it out, because you do need to laugh, man. Laughing is good for the soul. Laughing is just a great thing to do. So check out her laughing class. And a big, big shout out to all the essential workers out there. God bless y'all. Be safe. You know how your boy Wise does it. Peace out. Well, let's see if I can get it now. All right, everybody. Peace out.
Thanks for listening. Listen on iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, and TuneIn. Find us on social media on Twitter at @wise_b_blunt, Instagram at @wise_b_blunt, and a Facebook fan page, www.facebook.com/wise76. Check back soon for new episodes. Until next time, peace out.